Welcome to the Born to Be Brave YouTube channel. And today we have Carly. Is it Grundmann, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Carly Grundmann. Look at me. This is how pro we are. You know, welcome to the program, gorgeous.
I am so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Isn't this so fun? So the
Yes.
reason I'm in the Pace Morby biospheres universe, whatever you call community family is because I God told me to go to Clever Summit. I saw an advertisement on Facebook for this thing called Clever Summit in Vegas, maybe 3 years ago now.
Mhm.
And God said, you should go to that, right? It was an ad. And then I forgot about it. And then a few weeks later, he's like, hey, you didn't sign up for that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And so then I went to sign up and it was sold out. And I was like so bummed. And I'm like, wait, you're resourceful. That's one of my strengths. And so I reached out and said, hey, do you ever take volunteers? And he said, oh, yeah, my mom's in charge of volunteers. Cole Hatter's mom said that. So he gave me her email. I emailed her and she said, oh, we're all full. But if you want to come a day early, can your personality handle taking orders from a bunch of people? And anyway, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can totally handle that. Right. Because I knew God had told me to be there. And so it ended up, I came a day early. They elevated me. They decided they didn't want me to be like the setup grunt person, but I already bought a ticket. I told her it's okay. But they said my personality, they wanted me to be the greeter, the first person everyone saw, that after they got to know me a little. And so when but I said, oh, I already got my plane ticket for the day early. So Pace and Jamil, and this is how ignorant I was. I didn't even do any research on who was speaking or anything. So Pace and Jamil and some big camera guy, right? So show up because I come a day early and I meet them. I don't know who they are. They're there for sound check. And then I meet you, right? Because I'm volunteering
Yes.
and I
I
don't sign up or anything. But anyway, do you remember meeting me?
I was just it's so funny. I just went live and I was like, everybody go follow Colleen and you guys need to know her. Like if you follow me and like anything I do, you are 10,000% gonna like her. But I was just talking about you should go back and watch it on my live. I said Colleen is the reason, and I don't know if I've ever told you this. I've always been like a spiritual type person, but like it comes and it goes in your life. It happens in life. And I was
Yeah.
just like out of it for a long time. And I don't mean like religious spiritual, but just like, I mean that too, but also very spiritual. And I don't know the right word is for it. And I was like, Colleen was really, I don't think you understand. You're literally an angel. It's like as if God, I was just said that. It's so funny. And you're like, God told me to go. I feel like God put you in my life for a reason. And you put me in the we're meant to meet each other and we've kept in touch. It wasn't just like a chance meeting because like we were looking for registration or something and you're standing there in the middle of the casino in Las Vegas and you're just asking me about myself and you're telling me and you're like, and I was like, no, I'm not good at that or I can't do that. And you're like, you kept correcting me on the language that I use. You're like, you speak into existence and stuff like that. And I think you were that was one of the first like reawakenings and rememberings of like, I don't know, I'm on this whole like, it's where I met Pace. It's where I got into this like whole, I made a decision at the Clever Summit that it was like, it was almost like I don't tell a lot of people this. It was almost like God was talking to me and like, you need to walk through this door because this is going to be a part of your life. It sounds so woo woo to
No,
people that
it
don't
is so
listen to
good. This
this.
is, yes.
It sounds like it brought me to tears. I made this decision. It was just like, it was like a spiritual moment. First, I meet you, and you're just like a ray of sunshine that's an angel. And you were just like so positive and encouraging, and just like I felt like I knew you already. And then I made a decision there, and I'm at this. It was a huge turning point in my life. I quit my job. I decided to go all in on real estate. I met Pace there. Now I'm working for Pace. You and I have kept in touch throughout this whole thing. I don't even know how we kept keeping in touch. It was just like a chance meeting, like go over there to register. But I don't know how we kept keeping in
Everything.
touch.
I worked at a VIP event that night, at the thing, and you were there, and I saw you
Yes.
and I would run into you constantly throughout the whole event,
Yes.
right? And there was thousands and thousands of people there. Yeah.
Yes.
And I
And
just kept
now
running into you.
we did, and even after that event, I think you
Mhm.
were on the elephant challenge, and I was like,
I did the
Colleen.
elephant.
And then Pace called you up. I'm like, you need to know. I was like going crazy in the chat. I remember you got pulled up on the elephant. Now you're in sub two. I just got to give you a big hug at Squat Up. Like, it's just meant to be.
Isn't
So
it fun?
you're the reason though, like you are like I credit you to being like the person, my spiritual reawakening. I don't know what you call it. It sounds so corny, but it's
You
just like
remembered. You
I
remembered who
you
you
were
were.
the angel that brought me into that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
I
I am.
rekindled an awakening that you remembered who you were and what you're
Yes,
meant to do in life.
you did.
Mhm.
You did. It was because of you. I owe so much to Colleen.
And God, we love
And
God.
God. And
We
God.
do.
Yes. Of
Because you
course.
know
Of
what
course.
my
Of
real
course.
goal is? I mean, of course, I want to inspire women to invest in real estate and do all these things. But my real goal, my real goal is for every person who comes in contact with me to feel God's love for them, whether we ever talk about God, whether they believe in God or not, that every
Yes.
person feels God's love and light towards them and their
Yes.
potential, their divine potential for them with my interaction with them. That's my real goal.
You are true. You have gone above and beyond that goal. And you are, I'm not just saying this, you are a genuine angel. You are God's love personified. You really,
You're
really
so
are.
sweet.
I
Well,
just love it. I love it. I want to be like you when I grow up.
oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm glad I got to do this show with you today.
Me
Look at you.
too.
And it's so funny because I just literally, we were just sharing. I took flowers to someone really quick because I have back-to-back appointments today. And I forgot, I grabbed the vase. So I took them flowers from the garden. Oh, and it's this way. Anyway, and I grabbed a vase that's like this small, like this big, like a teeny tiny one, and I needed to grab a big one. And I'm like, I'm feeling like such a ding dong because I'm like running through my car. I'm thinking, do I knock on the neighbors' doors? And I look at the time and I'm like, I have 12 minutes to be back at my house.
I know. I love that. I was just telling Colleen before we started. She's got all this stuff going on, and she's got her own stuff going on, and interviewing 3 people, and she has 12 minutes to herself, and she takes flowers to the neighbor that's going through some things. So I
Yeah,
love
is that
that.
a
I
crack
love
up? So
that
anyway,
too.
I sent them a text. Sorry for the presentation. But what's
That's all that
interesting
counts.
is God told me because I'm writing a book on how to invest in real estate for women.
Love
And
that.
yeah, isn't that fun? And I thought it was kind of pretty much done, not completely done, but pretty much done. I was telling God about it, and He said, well, what about the people, because I've been in traditional real estate for 20 some years now. And He's like, well, like, what about the people who can't qualify with the 25% down and like they don't meet the criteria? What I'm like, I don't know how to, like, what about the single moms or someone whose kid went through cancer or bad divorce or their husband ripped them off or whatever, right?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know. How do those people buy property? That's what I asked him. I'm like, I guess they're out of luck, right? And and then he says, remember I had to go to that event, the Clever Summit event? I said, yeah. He goes, remember that guy Pace Morby you met? I'm like, I do remember Pace. He goes, he buys lots of properties with no bank and no, and businesses. He goes, remember that girl Carly you met? I said, yeah. He goes, you should call her, find out about it.
And you
I called you
did.
the next day.
You I love that you listen to that. There's so many people that don't listen to like that inner, I
Their
love that
voice.
you're just like, yes, done. I will, no question. Absolutely. I will listen to that voice.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I reached out to you. You sent me your affiliate link and I signed up
I love it.
and then I joined the community. Isn't that crazy? And what's so funny about the elephant challenge is the elephant challenge. This is before, like I'm still on the outside, right? And I'm like, oh, he's doing an elephant challenge. And I'm like, that's perfect. But it was on the day I was having my nose surgery, right? Foot surgery or nose surgery. I
You
can't
had a foot
remember.
surgery. I remember that. And you
Yes.
had your dogs, you had a picture, you had your foot up and your chocolate labs around you. I remember that.
Yes, and the day of my surgery was the beginning of the elephant challenge. And I asked God, if it's not unrighteous, can you have Pace Morby move his elephant challenge a few days so I'm not completely out of it when it starts so I can learn about this? And it moved 3 days. It moved 3 days. For some reason, it got canceled last minute.
It
And when I
does.
came out of surgery, and when I was like coherent enough to check Facebook, I was so excited that it had moved, right? And then
No
I joined, even
accidents.
though I was like way out of it for my surgery.
Are you glad you joined even though you were high on surgery stuff?
Drugs. Yeah. I'm
Drugs.
so glad. You know what's amazing is everyone should join,
Mm,
in my opinion, not just if you're interested in real estate. Like if you want friends and family and community and people that'll be there for you no matter what, you should just really join, right?
it's true. I mean, I always was like, I'm an adult. I'm a true introvert. I can actually, which a lot of people, I just get my energy by being alone. I can extrovert really well though. And I was like, always like, I don't need new friends. I have my friends. I'm an adult. I don't need new friends. And I feel like this is so corny, but like I've met some of my adult best friends, business partners. It's like
Mhm.
a whole new it's like a whole new world of genuine friends and community.
That you love and that are like a
Yes.
whole new level of like yesterday, a lady that I've met through Subto went to church with me. You know, she was in town visiting and she's like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to church." She goes, "Oh, I'll just go with you." And I just love her so much. And I love that, like, I have my friend Bridget that I roommate with at all the events. That's like my accountability partner. And we do totally different things, right? But that
Yeah.
we just check in with each other. We make sure we always know we're going to roommate with each other at every event. I don't even need to check with her. Like next year for sure, I'll be rooming with her at Squad Up Summit. And
I love it.
like, I think it's crazy. And I hear you were buying RVs creatively and now you're selling your RV business, right?
I am. Yes.
Yeah, tell
So
us about your journey and tell us about that RV business. And I want to know about you did a fund of funds, which
I
I'm very
did.
interested in. So tell me all about your little journey.
Okay, so my journey just started out when so sub two is buying things go without going to the bank, as Colleen said. And when I met Pace, I told him, he's like, well, I went to the mastermind, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, RV parks. But really, I grew up in Salt Lake. And as if you've ever been to Salt Lake, south of Salt Lake, there's like 4 national parks. There's Bryce, there's Arches, there's Zions, there's all of those. So we would get in the camper every Easter weekend, go down and take our quads and go four-wheeling and do Easter egg hunts and go camping and have it was just like the best part of my childhood is growing up four-wheeling in southern Utah Easter weekend and Lake Powell, all of that stuff. And so now I have kids and I'm like, I want to take them camping. I want to take them four-wheeling. I want them to have a childhood like that. But I also did not want to go and buy an RV. So I told Pace, he's like, what are your goals? And I'm like, I want a Sprinter van. Those little Mercedes
I
Sprinter
love
vans that
them.
are built out. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna get one sub too. And Pace, if you watch him, he's a master manifester. He just talks about it. He'd be like, "Oh, Carly's getting sub twos RVs. This is my friend Carly. I hadn't yet, but he's like, this is what she's gonna go do." Sure enough, I got myself a sub two RV and became known as like the RV girl, sub two RV girl. And people are like, the things with RVs is and one of the motivating factors for people to sell sub two is they're upside down. They might have to write a check to close.
Hmm.
RVs 100% of the time are upside down if you have a loan on them. You're going to have to write a check to get out of it. They're just depreciating assets. They're not appreciating like real estate. And so it makes it real easy to get a sub two RV. So then I kind of built a fleet. Then I started to wholesale them for people. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get under contract and I'll sign the deal to you. And I built up this business and we have done so much. We take our van up it to the ski hill in the winter and we camp overnight and go skiing and our girls have learned how to ski out of that van. But now I have it was a goal. We did it. It was fun. I've built this amazing business, but when you're meant for more, I've always had one big goal. I really haven't told people about it. And
Surprise! We're gonna talk
we're
about
gonna
it.
talk. I'll tell you. You're a safe. You're my. I've kind of like. I've never really told people about it, but somebody came up to me once and she said, she's like, I'm very spiritual. I have psychic abilities. I have a message to give to you. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you are meant to have a healing ranch where it like rescues animals and people. And it's like people go, animals are rescued. So I've always loved rescue animals. So like equine therapy, yoga, where humans and animals go together to just do whatever they have to do, do therapy, do yoga, do talk to God, go to church, whatever religion you are, it's there for everyone. And so she was like, you're meant to do this. And I was like, it was like a God moment because I've never told anybody of this ever. Like, it's not like I'm ashamed of it. It's just not like I've never shared it with anyone. And so I was at the Squat Up Summit last whatever, like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. I need to do this. Like, this was a fun thing and I did it, and like on to the next thing, and I'll show people how to do it and I'll still do that. But my ultimate, everything I need to work for is towards that healing ranch in the middle of the mountains, in nature, with all the animals and the people and the just everything that's just like spiritual and healing, and putting people back together, that just need to be taken care of. Healing.
It's interesting. One, I'm holding so much space for this beautiful Mount Everest dream of yours.
Yes.
And that's my new question I ask people is what's your Mount Everest, right? Because
Mhm.
Pace talked about that, and he had that lady that was the first North American woman to summit Mount Whitney, right? Not
Yep.
Whitney,
Mount Everest. Wasn't
Mount
it Mount
Everest. Yeah,
Everest?
that's why it's your Everest. Look at that.
Yeah.
See the concussion. And so what's interesting, yeah, it's like, woo. Anyway, Mount Whitney, that's so funny. Anyway, that's in California.
Yep.
Not Mount Everest. But what's interesting is when you create this healing space, the first thing we have to do is have a vision for it, right? And
Yes.
then we have to know it's possible, which you're starting to see that it's possible.
Yes.
And then with the animals, so the earth is so healing, right? Nature is so healing.
Yes.
Animals, like if you spell dog backwards, it spells God, right? Our
Mhm.
animals are so healing. Like I love my dogs so much, right? They love like when you saw me with my foot surgery, I had my
Yes.
dogs on my bed with me, right? Like they're just so loving. They know something's wrong with you,
They
right?
do. They have
Hmm.
that sixth sense.
Hmm. Do you have dogs?
Oh my God, I have three. I need a healing range because Alex is like, you need to stop getting animals. You need to stop rescuing dogs.
Well, I feel like, especially because you're a young mom, that when you have kids, the reason I'm a big fan of dogs or animals for kids is because let's say they had a bad day at school or with their friends or something they don't even tell you about that you don't know anything about. They
Mhm.
can sit and talk to their dog and their
Yes.
dog understands, right? Like their dog, that connection for a kid, like my dog growing up as a kid was like crucial in my life.
Yes.
Like stuff
I
I
feel
couldn't tell my mom or my sister, I could tell my dog, right? And your dog would
yes.
just listen.
Dogs are such spiritual. They're almost like humans to me. I just animals are so spiritual and healing, and they're just there. They're just there with no judgment. They listen. I don't know. They have that intuition. They know.
Where do you think you're going to have your healing center, your retreat
I
center?
want to have it. I probably in Idaho. I'm from Idaho. I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm looking at places now. I would not be mad if it was in Idaho. I grew up in the summers in McCall, Idaho, which is like central Idaho, and it's mountains and lakes. I just want a bunch of acreage with no people and rivers and lakes
I love
and
it.
all
Yeah,
the
start
things.
start asking yourself. This is a new question I ask myself. What would I love? So start asking myself, what would I love? So where would you love to have this retreat center? So start thinking about that. I love it. It'll manifest itself. It's
It
coming.
will. It will. I've been on land watch, been looking
Mhm.
at land.
Mhm.
So it will come. It will come. It will show itself to me. You're right. So I just need to talk about it and think about it and plan. It'll come. It'll all fall into place. I know it will.
It's on its way.
It
It,
is.
yeah, it's already coming together. The universe is conspiring to make it happen.
It is.
And I think that people are scared. We're taught in school to think small, memorize stuff, get in
Yes.
line, raise your hand, be quiet, get in line. Failing's bad. You want to get A's, not F's, right? So all
Yes.
the things that are really not important, right?
It's so
And
true.
when we speak about our big goals and dreams, right, then it helps other people. It helps us believe it because our imagination. If people understood how the brain works, this is what I love the brain,
I do
is
too.
um, your imagination doesn't know the difference between reality and the stuff you're making up. And so that's why it's so important. Like I have an ideal life video that my husband made for me. I gave him stuff to put in it. And then I watched this video, right, of my ideal life. And then I love that Pace said, and I host vision board parties a lot for our clients and
I
stuff,
know.
but Pace said, put a carousel of pictures, right? He was telling you, just put it on your phone, a
Mm.
carousel of pictures. Oh, Mike, you're gonna have to bleep that out. Anyway, my phone, I just showed my phone. Anyway, what was I going to say?
You put a
The
carousel of photos so
carousel photos
you
of
can
your ideal
manifest it.
life.
Yes.
Yes. And so it starts, your brain starts believing it's possible because we we can do anything. I think we're all living way below our privileges. And
10,000%.
yeah, and so when we start expanding what we think is possible for us, then it helps us to I feel like it's a ripple effect. Like you just like, oh, that lady told you that she saw this as a vision of something that's possible for you. And then you start thinking about it and you're like, oh yeah, you know what? At first, like, oh, that seems too big. But then over time, you're like, oh yeah, I could totally do that
Yeah.
over time.
Of course. And it's so true. My dad is very much into this stuff. And he gave me this book. It's an older book, is called Psycho-cybernetics. And it's science. Have you heard of that book? It's the science behind
I read
everything
it
that
a
you
long time ago.
it's a great book. I'm reading
Hmm.
like the redo by another guy where
Hmm.
he brings it back into so it's easier to understand and digest. But that's what they say. They say the exact same thing. Your subconscious has no idea if something is real or fake, and it says yes. Like whatever you say, I'm bad at spelling. Yes, you are. And it'll show you how you're bad at spelling. Or I will have a healing ranch. Yes, you will. And you make those mind movies to reinforce it and reinforce it. And I 10,000% agree with you. We only use like 4% of our brain. And this, or it's literally science 95% of our lives are dictated by your subconscious, which they don't. And we only use 5% of the rest of our brain. So you really need to drive that into your subconscious and you can
Yeah.
manifest it.
I paid a lot of money to be in this mastermind. In fact, I ended up becoming, it's so funny. If you do what God wants you to do, I ended up becoming a best-selling author. They've been working on this book, this group. I saw a lady speaking on Dean Graciosi and Tony Robbins stage on like a Zoom. God said, you should hire her to be your coach. So I'm like, I type in the chat, who's speaking, right? I don't even know who this lady is. And so they say, oh, it's Maya Komaroda. I'm like, okay. So I reach out, I join her, one of her group, her like, not, I don't think it's a top one, but one of her group coaching programs, right? They meet once a week. And it was very expensive. Like I sold my Rolex, I
I love
sold a
this.
diamond tennis bracelet. I can't remember, but it was a stretch, right? Like I didn't just have that kind of money sitting around for this 6-month program, right?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? But and she talks about me in the foreword, but they'd been working on this book for like, I don't know, a year or two, right? And they each were sharing if you had a couple hours to live, what would the message be that you would share with your family and friends? And what's the story attached to it? Well, it was in edit form when I joined her group, but she said, "Oh, I love your story so much. I'd like you to be in the book." So I got to slide in right before it got published. Isn't that the cutest thing?
Yes.
And what I learned though from her, hold on, I'll show you because is that she does this thing because she did private coaching with Mary Morrissey, which she was one of her like 5 or 6 clients. And then Mary Morrissey did private coaching with Bob Proctor, who's also dead now. But anyway, Mary Morrissey said that Bob Proctor helped her rewire, and she was very successful at this time when she started doing one-on-one coaching with him. But he said, I want you to listen to the science of getting rich for the 90 days every day the chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14. And for 90 days. And if you miss a day, you have to start over. Okay. And she's like, no problem. But then, like on day 57, she forgot. And so she had to start over. But what it does is it resets your subconscious mind. They've tracked it scientifically,
Yes.
allegedly. And it resets what you believe is possible in all the areas of your life. It's interesting. Anyway, so God told me, because I'm doing YouTube now, and universe, God, whatever you call it, he says, instead, because I would do it every year. I mean, I paid a fortune to be in her thing, right? So I never missed a day, not one day. And then I've done it every year since then. So it's been like 6 years, I think. Anyway, a couple years ago, maybe it was a year ago, 2 years ago, God says, why don't you record yourself instead of listening to Mary Morrissey read it? You read chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14, and then it'll sink into your subconscious mind even more because it's your voice. So I did it, but this is how that's not a nice way to say it. Naive I was. I didn't have a glass of water. I didn't have a bookmark or anything. I just started reading, but then I'm like, oh, it would be a lot easier if I had a bookmark to move down. But anyway, I did it. And I've been doing that challenge and listening to myself. And I just finished 90 days. And a lady did it with me that was in that group with me. And sometimes people do it with me, but it does really reset your mind. I mean, it sounds like woo woo crazy, but literally, it just really resets your mind on what's possible. So,
I believe it. I don't believe it's, I believe it. It doesn't sound woo woo crazy to me. It sounds woo woo crazy to nobody that may not.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it does work. And I paid a lot of
I
money.
think
And I think a lot of people start it with me. I invite anyone to do it with me every year.
I want to
And
do it with you next time you do it. I want to do it actually. I'm gonna ask you those chapters. I'm gonna have
I'll
afterwards.
send you the link to me reading it. I'll text
Yes.
it to you. I'll text it to you.
Yes.
'Cause you can listen to me read it to you.
Oh, I
And
love it.
but you know what's interesting? And I'll invite you to the next challenge. I do it every year,
Okay.
but you can start it anytime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I've been doing it twice a year because I have a lot of big goals that I'm working towards. And so I
Love it.
really want to expand what's possible in my mind for myself. And because we all are our own worst critics, right? So we tell ourselves why we can't do it something, and then we can make a case like can you argue that in court? Yeah, I can argue in court why I can't do something because I've never done it before, but
Right.
right, I can make a great
I could
case.
make a great case.
Yeah, got a lot of evidence for why that's not happening.
That's right. I know. It's so crazy. I love that. I want to do that too. That it's that repetition over and over and over
Mhm.
again.
It seeps into you. It
It
seeps into
does.
you. Mhm.
It does.
And you know what's crazy? Because I've done it for like 6 years in a row now. I hear stuff that I feel like I've never heard before,
I
you
believe
know?
it
It's like,
over and
whoa,
over
like
again.
the power of increase. Like we all want increase, right? So when we give off when we show other people that we help them increase and become better, they're attracted to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's so true.
It is. I
Hmm.
know.
So tell me about your fund of funds and what did you do? Because I think this is one of the coolest things ever. Like, tell us about it.
So fund of funds, what a fund, it's like fund of funds. So if you think about it, it tells you exactly what it is in it. So there's a fund. I find somebody, so we found Vina Jetty,
Who I
who,
love. I'm going to get her on the show. I have to
oh my
message her.
God, she's amazing. You know, she is another one for me. She was our first podcast interview guest. And
She
I
was?
remember, or one of them, our first
Yeah.
like big one. And Jennifer and I at the same we're like, oh my God, we're nobody. She's somebody. Why does she want to be like, we were just like us? I mean, it was a huge thing on imposter syndrome. And she has a great story about imposter syndrome. And it's just like it really brings people into the reality. Definitely you should have her on. She's amazing. But so Vina, for those of you that may not know, it's not her first rodeo in multifamily real estate. She has over $1 billion with a B real estate transactions. So she knows a thing or two. She's been
A
in it
thing
for a
or
minute.
two.
A thing or two. Like this is so you want somebody, right? When you're learning something, you don't want to learn from somebody that's not even done a cycle of a deal or something. You want to learn from the best of the best. And with Vina, and what a fund of funds is Vina's fund. They raise capital. They found this great property in Dallas, Texas, B plus asset in Richardson, Texas, or no, Addison, Texas. Apparently, it's the Beverly Hills of Dallas, so it is no slummy place. Borders on an invite-only country club. Deal this asset, 180 units, 60 units, and B plus asset, and they took over, so they did creative finance, a 2.59% loan.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that amazing? So of course they do need to come up with money for down payments and things to put into the asset. So she raises capital for her fund, but also a fund of a fund is Vina's like, hey, Carly, we did this with Christy Schnurl, Carolyn Briley, and myself. We're Opal Equity. And we created a fund. So we go out and talk to our people that we know. And we're like, hey, Opal Equity as a whole is going to invest in this fund with Vina. And we talk about all of her experience and how it's not her first rodeo. And do you want to come invest with us? So let's say Colleen gives me $100,000 and Joe over here gives me $100,000. And so we take all this money that we get, let's say we earn $5 million. Opal Equity as itself invests. It's a fund of a fund. So we put that into Vina's. Our investors get paid back just like through their fund. It's all protected. But what the cool thing about it is I can bring in my investors to make passive income. The coolest thing is our investors in 2024 got a 93% tax write-off for their investment, which is wild.
That's incredible.
And they're still taking, so if you know anybody that maybe wants to get that for 2025, let me know. They're still raising for it. But we put all this money in. So one, I'm vouching for Vina. I know that she has experience. So whoever I'm vouching for, I want to, if I'm raising money, my friends and family, it's going to be someone that knows what they're doing. So one, I trust her. Two, Pace talks a lot about wedging yourself into deals. So you bring value. So I've brought $5 million to Vina's fund, let's say. And from that, I get to be an LP in a deal. I get to learn from her. I get inside information. So, I mean, not inside information, but I would learn a lot more if I was just investing,
Yes.
as a passive investor. And she's great because she wants to bring people, especially women, up with her. And so I get to learn and go through a deal cycle with someone that's very, very experienced. I get to help my friends earn more money and 93% depreciation on their taxes. And I get to learn. And so hopefully I'll be able to do this one day and go through a bunch of these deal cycles. And so Opal Equity can raise money for anybody that we feel like we trust and we want to. And so we'll over and over again raise capital for these people like Vina and wedge ourselves into these deals and learn and eventually do it our own. So that's what a fund of fund is. And now we're teaching people. So everyone's like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, you don't have to just invest with us. We don't want to be gatekeepers. So we have something called, if you go to fundsformula.com, we show you how to do your own fund of fund legally.
Awesome.
And, the lessons that we learned from it, because we were kind of there was no training when we were doing it. We just kind of stumbled our way through it. So.
And now you're sharing and helping bring other people along.
That is my goal. I want to help people. I don't want to just, I want to help people I'm not here to gatekeep. You want to do a fund to fund? Let me show you how. Do it. Wedge yourself into these big deals. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I do think that it's important that when you're in community and you see these opportunities, I think wedging yourself, if you're a new person and you have no idea what you're doing, my day with Pace was the day he made the how to wedge yourself in video, the different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I was like, oh, because he just went one by one, like, here's a deal. This guy brought me a deal. And like, he's getting paid this much. We're getting paid this much, right? So there's so many options when you're getting started. You don't have to have a ton of money or experience. You just have to be willing to get going and align yourself with people.
Yes. And that's what I have like this whole brand. It's called like Building an Empire. And it's just like little ways. Bird dogging is one way. Wedging is one way. Funds to fund is a one way. So in the whole building an empire thing, I'm like, listen, bring me a deal. I'll walk you through it, tell you if it's a deal. We can underwrite it together. Like, I want to help. I'm building my empire, but I want to help others. How use me, use my knowledge. How can I help you obtain your dreams or be the best person you can be? So I'm just
Isn't
a
that
vessel.
nice?
Yeah.
And I love that because you're building your empire, right? Building your
Mm-hmm.
empire.
Mm-hmm.
There, the reason that not Facebook, YouTube is so important is because I learned this from Pace because it's evergreen. People can always go back to it and watch it later. Like when my son had cancer, I would make a video every day to give an update and to help other cancer parents or people going through stuff. But I did them on Facebook, and so they're not evergreen. You can't refine them. You can't search and find them. And I
Mm-mm.
know two people with cancer right now that, that are really struggling. They're not struggling, but they're going through something that I've already been through
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot about. And so I'm going to find those videos or at least the questions they've been asking me. And I'm going to put them on my YouTube channel in a subset, right? But the cool thing is you can help people who want to do a fund of funds or who maybe want to do RV parks by you documenting your journey.
Yes. And
People
that's what
can find it.
yes, and that's what we're doing. So like I'm just building out these little courses. We have a funds to funds one that we're wrapping up next week will be the last one, but people can log in and view all these videos and like the handouts and watch everything. I'm doing the same thing for the RV rental business that I'm now selling. I'm gonna all do like whatever I do that can help someone. I have a thing on like how to bird dog and how to find leads that are will actually close. So you're using your time wisely whatever I know, if I can package it up and be like, here, take this information and make your life better with it. Let me help you. That's the goal.
What do you wish you would have known sooner?
I wish I would have believed in myself sooner. I just turned I didn't just turn 40, but after I turned 40, I'll be 43 in May. And I
A
feel like
baby, a
I felt
baby, your baby.
a baby. But I feel like I was so insecure for so long growing up, and I was not sure of myself, and I didn't stand up for myself, and I let people kick me when I was down, and I would believe them if they didn't say that. And I think after I turned 40, it's just like I don't give an F anymore. Like
Mhm.
I won't be mean to you, but I'm not going to listen and believe you. And I'm not going to let you just string me along and I'll stand up for myself. And I know I'm worth more than whatever you tell me and I want to, that's another thing is I want to help people with this healing ranch and all these courses that I'm doing for other people to see that too, that they don't have to rely on other people for money or for love or for, they have it in themselves. I wish I would have known that earlier.
I love that. Yeah, everything we need is inside ourselves.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. And trust God. I think I
Trust
went
God.
away from God for a long. I grew up going to church and going to a Catholic school and all of this stuff, but I think also you can't do it on your own. And there is you can call it the universe, you can call it God, you can call it
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, but you can't do it alone.
Yeah, I'm speaking on Easter at church, and my church, it's a volunteer church. And if you
Yes.
grew up in Utah, you grew up with a lot of members of my faith. And I probably actually feel sorry for you, but anyway, just but well, just because there's good people and bad
There
people in
is
every church and every
there
religion.
every religion,
And
every single
PTA,
religion.
soccer, PTA, all of it. There's the whole gamut,
It
right?
is.
And
Yes.
and I'm so grateful for even this at this point in my life. I could not have said this maybe 10, 15 years ago, but at this point in my life, I'm really grateful for every person who's
Me too.
mistreated me, been treated me unfairly, misjudged me, whatever it is. Because I'm talking on Easter, so they asked me to talk about like the lessons and blessings of the atonement. And for me, I'm focusing on Jesus, powerful lessons I learned from Jesus's life, from the last few days of his, mortal ministry. And so the lessons that stand out to me over, like I'm 57, right? Um, and the one thing I noticed is that when Jesus gave the sacrament, I didn't plan on talking this, but when Jesus gave the sacrament, people don't notice it in Luke 22, 17 and 19 is where he, at the Last Supper, he gives, it's the Passover. Some people say it's the Passover, some people say it's not, but whatever it is, it's the last meal, the Last Supper with the apostles. And it's not traditional because he institutes the sacrament, right? Which has not ever been done before. But there's two words in the middle of each of those verses, and it says, he gave thanks and God is facing severe adversity, right? Judas betrayed him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to the Garden of Gethsemane that night. His friends can't stay up with him. He's going to die and, hang on the cross and be beaten and falsely accused, all of these things. And he didn't wait to give thanks when things were good. He gave thanks in the middle of his worst adversity.
Yes, in the worst of the worst of the worst of the
Mhm.
worst.
Yeah.
And you gave thanks and gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude
So
and giving
gratitude
thanks.
is a key.
Huge, huge. Yes.
Right? So we need to give gratitude for wherever you're at in
Yes.
your real estate journey and your life journey with kids, no kids, married, not married, wherever you're at. What are you thankful for in this moment? Because gratitude, because we're all magnets and we're all attracting how we're being.
Yes.
And the way to increase your energy is to focus on gratitude. And I love that. So this is what I'm going to talk about. It's probably a little different take than what they're thinking, but Jesus showed us that he gave gratitude even in his worst circumstances, right?
Mhm.
And then the other thing I think is a really key thing is service, right? Serving other people brings us joy.
Key service and gratitude, I think, are the
Mhm.
keys to to happiness and success and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that comes
10,000%.
from him too, because he washed their feet, and Peter's like, no, 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 don't. I don't want you to wash my feet.
He did
And
not
then,
judge them. He washed their feet. Mary Magdalene, the town
yeah,
lady of the night, no judgment. And that's what I love. I think you saw that that's what I love about there's good and there's bad with every thing is, and I love that story because it can bring anybody back to that and be like, Jesus gave thanks and he gave service to people that may not be quote unquote worthy in some people's eyes. Everybody is the same no
everyone.
matter
And
what.
then after they
Yes.
arrested him and Peter cut off that guy's ear, Jesus restored it, right? And so that's service. And then when he saw his mom, he's like, Mom, son, he want to make sure his mom's taken care of. And then he asked God to forgive the guards that were killing him because they don't know what they're doing. So he was concerned about them. And then the guys that were on the two sides of the other guys on the cross,
Mm-hmm.
he said, I'll see you in paradise, right? He was concerned about them because, they're all up there dying together. So I think he turned outward in
He
his
did.
worst adversity. And
I
so when
love
we
that.
we can turn outward and we can serve the people that are maybe other people have given up on, or, a lot of people have treated me, had a lot of opinions about me because I had a son that was involved with drugs and alcohol for a long time and was in and out of jail. And people even have opinions about people who have kids with cancer and just, there's just so many things. But what a gift they all are because
It's so
it,
true. I wouldn't be the person who I am today without those judgy people maybe
mhm.
that had said something about me. And you know, I think I truly believe, like, I was, as a little kid, I was a dyslexic kid. I was not smart. I repeated the second grade. I was not, I just didn't have a lot of friends, like animals. I was kind of a weird little kid. And I think I know that having that, I try to be so good to other people because I know what it's like. Like, I feel I am the person I am today because of them. And I thank them for it. For the mean girl that bullied me in high school, for the kids that told me I was going to go to hell because I didn't believe in the same things that, like,
Yes.
those things, I am so grateful for them because they've made me who I am. And I'm really starting to learn that there's huge things in pain. There's a message. What is it? There's a message in the mess. There's a reason for
Mhm.
everything. And
Pain
so
is a powerful teacher.
it is. And I think I am so grateful for that girl that was a bully to me and those kids that were mean to me. They really have made me who I am. And I am teaching my kids now. I'm like, we are kind to everyone. We don't, it's just like at the core of my values is just be kind and give and take care of each other. We're all, one of my favorite quotes is by Ram Dass, and it says, we're just all walking each other home. We're all on this rough journey together. Just take care of each other. Don't judge them. Take care of them. So,
yeah. And I think that, like when I hear people like they're upset that someone did this or that, you know, and like they're mad at God because that happened. I'm like, do you actually read the Bible? Like, like, like God
you want to come
sent
to
his
church with
son.
me?
Like God sent his only begotten son and they freaking crucified him. And he's all Jesus and God were all powerful. And they could have stopped that injustice, right?
I
I'm like,
love learning about that. And it's so fun for me to just like dive into that. It's like they could have, yeah.
yeah, but why didn't they? Because they love you and they love me and they love all of us.
Yep.
And literally, and when we look at our, I call them opportunities to grow. Some people call it adversity, whatever you want to call it. These opportunities do change us and shape us because the reason you're teaching your kids about kindness and focusing on kindness is because of things that were happened to you that were unkind, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. And that might not be your focus with them if you
It
hadn't had
it
unkindness.
wouldn't be.
Mhm.
No, I think there's power in pain. I really do. And I think it's just how you choose to respond to that by
It's a
going inward
decision.
or by going outward, by giving, by taking care, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I love it. I love
yeah.
it. What's next for you? What are you going to focus on next, gorgeous?
It's the Healing Ranch. I think that I'm going, that's like, I'm like, this is I feel like this is my purpose in life. And I
Mhm.
want to help people. I really think that the my this crap that I've gone through is for a reason, and it's to help other people. And I'm like, I'm 43. I don't have, we have, just like your life, your thing says, this is not your practice life. Like, let's get going because these things don't happen overnight. So that's why I'm selling the RV business and taking everything I know and packaging it up to help other people along the way.
Mhm.
And so I can like have like little clones, so to speak, that can teach people. So it's all recorded, you know. And I think that's the number one thing. I'm out there looking for land, probably in Idaho, is in the mountains, in the most majestic mountains, middle of nowhere, water, nature, everything.
Can I
So,
come visit?
yes,
Oh,
I
good.
would be, yes,
Can I
you
come talk
are
to
an
them and do a little
inspiration.
workshop? Can I do a workshop with them
You
and
are,
teach them
it's
about
people like
gratitude?
you that I want coming there and doing workshops and like lifting you up and share these. I don't, it's not just me. I'm just putting it together and I want the people like you to bring your knowledge and your testimony, and whether it's Christian or Mormon or Jewish or, you know, whatever it is, that's, bring it all and let's celebrate it. And everybody, yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna take you
I
up
would,
on it. I'm
yes,
coming.
10,000%.
Okay, good. I'm
You're
coming.
hired. Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do yoga and I love breathing exercises and
Yes.
journaling and
Breath
gratitude.
work.
Just
Yes.
we can go hug trees together,
Yes. Get in
grounding,
nature, grounding, take off your
barefoot.
goat yoga,
Mhm.
horse therapy, whatever it is,
We
whatever
can
your
lay in if
art
there's a
therapy.
river. If there's a river, I want to lay in the river and just let the water run over me too.
Yes. Lay and be.
Right?
It sounds glorious.
It sounds good. I have another question for you. I ask
Yes.
everyone if I remember, I'm human. My show is called Born to Be Brave, and I believe everyone was born to be brave.
Yes.
When's a time in your life that you've been brave that you can share with us?
I think this was a pivotal moment in my life is I come from a family that has a family business, and my parents are car dealers in Idaho. I grew up on the car lot. My dad's been a Ford, Lincoln, Honda dealer between Utah and Idaho. And it's what I grew up in. It's the family business. I've always grown up in it. And if you people that have grown up in a family business, it just is. It's just what that's what we do. And I was working in the family business, and my dad and I our like soul, you were just like so close, you know, it's just like on a soul level. Like we've been in other lives or something. Like we are just like, my dad and my grandma and I were just so special relationship. And it got to the point where when you can work in family businesses, it can be tough on relationships. And my dad, it was one of the toughest times in my life, because the work and was getting between our relationship, and my dad felt like he had to be not doing nepotism and being extra hard on me to prove, and I'm like trying to really prove it was a disaster for our relationship. And Rory, my daughter, was a year old, and I told my dad, I walked away from everything. I said, he had a dealership. He said, I don't know if it's true, Sun Valley, Idaho is one of my favorite places. That's where Alex and I got married. And he's like, I got the Ford dealership in Sun Valley for you and Alex. And I was like, I can't. That is the ultimate, like, oh my God, like just handed to me, you know, like not obviously handed to me. I'd have to work. And
Yeah, of course. I know.
And I walked away from that, and I said, I love you so much that I will walk away from that. I'm going to start over on my own. Alex and I moved to Washington. He went to what I call boat school. He drives ferry boats now. And we started over with nothing. And I'm like, I am doing this for our relationship. And he's like, well, you could be walking away from you're walking away from ease and money. And I'm like, I'd rather have my relationship with you than whatever has happened these last 3. It was really, really hard for me. Almost makes me cry thinking about it. So and I look back at myself, and I was thinking about this the other night, like what's something that I've done that my 8-year-old self or somebody that was younger would be so proud of. I walked away from an easy life, possibly, to start over literally from ground zero. And that's what this is, all this real estate thing. That's where that started, to save my relationship with my dad and my family, because it was rough. So that was probably the bravest thing that I've ever done, is just walk away. So
I love that.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks for asking it. So
Anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
I could talk with you all day long. You are just absolutely one of my favorite people. You are sunshine in a person. So
I just love you. You're so sweet.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. Colleen was on my podcast too.
Oh yeah, you can watch our interview on your show.
It's been a hot minute. I haven't even looked at that since it aired.
Oh my gosh. I know, what's so funny is I'm going all in on YouTube this year. Is what I'm doing 3 things: finishing the book, buying properties, figuring out what my next thing is, because I'm not sure what my next thing is. I know that it's manifesting up until now. It's coming. So those are my 3 things, right? Is YouTube, finishing the book, and then I know it will unfold itself, and I'm interviewing people and talking to people and finding out about their businesses. And I know that when I feel the alignment, that I'll know that, oh yeah, this is it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you'll know. You will know.
Yeah. Cause even my brain's percolating on stuff that I hear. Right. And I'm like, I could possibly, so I have my meeting, with the OCJV group that, we underwrite and do that stuff together. So I'll go to that and I talk to them, but I just know that I interviewed Pace, and oh my gosh. And what a beautiful human he is, right?
He is. Oh my God. There's so many layers to Pace. I still hear stories that he tells, and I'm like, I had no idea. And he's amazing.
On my show, he shared at Squad Up Summit about almost giving up and checking out. And he shared that on my podcast back in January on my YouTube channel.
Did he?
And after, I'm like, I only have 200 followers. You might want to share that with more people.
I was bawling. I had heard that the first time I heard that he was interviewed by the School of Hard Knocks. But he did not go deep into that. I want to watch the one with you and him too.
It's on part 2. So on mine, because we talked for 2 hours. I didn't know. You know what's so funny is I didn't know I talked for 2 hours with Pace. And because I did it at his office, I didn't have a clock. See, I know when I started with you, and like I have a clock right in my own studio. I have it all set up. Like I know exactly what's going on. Well, it's so funny. And I did have my watch, but I didn't want to look at my watch.
Yeah.
They had cameras on all sides. And anyway, but what's so funny is I wanted to make sure that I talked to Pace about stuff he hadn't talked about on anything else. Because you can watch Pace's, he's got his own team. Like you can watch a million things about all that stuff, but I wanted to talk about like his real life, like.
Love that.
And when he shared that, and he shared everything on my show, and one of the questions I wanted to ask him was like, when everything went south and your partner stole everything and everything allegedly, and everything went bad and your brother died, like, how come you didn't give up? How come you didn't throw in the towel? And man, he shared it all. And I was like,
Wow.
I only have 200 followers. I have 300 followers now. No, 350, I think. But
I was
anyway,
number 5, I remember when I met you.
you were number 5. Is that
I
the
was
cutest thing?
number 5. I'm going to help you get your numbers up. I'm going to talk about you like crazy. I'm going to help
Okay,
you
I
get
appreciate
people
that
up.
so much.
Yes.
That's my goal, right? Is because it's free. Like I've spent a lot of money going to things that most people cannot afford to go to.
Yeah.
And I've been very resourceful. Like I could not like to become in that. Like I didn't know she was doing that book, but I sold my diamond Rolex, my diamond tennis bracelet. I rented out a room in my house for 4 months to finish paying for her. Because I paid a whole bunch of it, and then
Love
anyway.
that.
But for the people who can't afford all these crazy things to get in the room, I want my YouTube channel to be a resource where they can say, "Oh, Carly's so cool. What did she do? And what about her mindset and her worthiness?" And like just so they can get we can expand their vision of what's possible for them, and then they can maybe get in the rooms. Do you know what I'm saying? But just like YouTube's free.
I love it. I know. I am your number 1 fan. I am going to tell everyone about it.
Tell everyone.
I
Yeah. And then if
I
you
do.
if you meet someone that's doing something really cool and you think I'd be a good partner with them too, let me know.
Yes, I will.
Because that's what
Oh,
I'm open
yes.
to. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe lean towards assisted living, but I don't know for sure. Or doing fund of
Yeah.
funds, or
Yes.
I don't know,
Fun
RV
to
parks.
Funds.
But fund
Fun
of
to Funds
funds.
is great. And if you get with people, like I was asking Pace's team, because he's doing a fund right now. I'm like, will you do fund to fund? And he said, yes. They said, excuse me. Yeah, and we'll even pay for your attorney fees if you raise up to $1 million or something. So
That's a possibility.
that's a big chunk to get in. It's like 10 grand to like in attorney fees, so you have to make sure that you can get it. But that would be huge. Yeah.
I'm gonna follow up with them. I emailed them from Squad Up and asked them about it, but they haven't responded to me. So I'll email them again.
Yeah, email them again. Be like, Carly, you told Carly this. Is this true? And then
Yeah.
yeah.
And Pace is coming here on Thursday. I'm not sure why. I have plans already, but I'm just going to see if I can find him earlier in the day. But that night I'm hosting a dinner, so I can't not go. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got to be the host.
Yeah, I said yes to go see Pace, and then I put it on my calendar. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Welcome to my dinner that I won't be at.
Just entertain yourselves.
Yeah, have fun.
It'll be fine, right?
It's gonna be great. We can make a little poster of me.
Yeah, they can have little cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, that'll be great. They're gonna love it.
It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Well, where can people find you, and what can we do to support you? So tell us.
And I was just going to ask you that, what else you need that I can help you with. But if Carly.Grundmann on Instagram, all my links are there for Funds of Funds, buildinganempire.io it's still under construction. I would just go to Instagram, whatever links are there will take you to how we can connect, how I can help you. I'm still building out the empire stuff, and let me know if there's something that you want to learn from me that I haven't talked about yet. I'll help you.
So. Okay, I'm going to think about it because
I
know God told me keep moving forward on what you're doing, and you will figure this out.
You will just keep going forward.
So, because I don't want to just keep buying houses. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know. I feel like there's more. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and will you come back on the show in a couple months? I've had Kevin Cho's been on a couple times, and I'm going to ask.
I am here whenever you want me.
Okay.
You tell me when,
Okay,
and I
good. I'll
won't
have you
be
in a
sick.
couple months. We'll check in.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's kind of fun to follow a few people on their journey. I'm going to ask Pace to come back because I shared with you. I'm not going to share it here, but I shared with you at Squad Up. I have one question I want to ask him,
Yes,
and I was like, oh, I'm going to get him back on the show, obviously.
you will. Yeah,
Anyway, you're
you will.
awesome, lady. I
You're
love you so
amazing.
much.
I love you so much. Let me know what I can do to help you. I'm definitely gonna funnel people to your YouTubes.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, and
You're awesome. I
introduce you
appreciate
to
you so
people.
much. And
Yeah,
you guys follow Carly, and she's doing a fund to funds. You're doing another one, right?
we we haven't started a new one yet, but we're still raising
It's
for
coming.
Venus. So if you liked that idea and you want to
Reach out to
reach
Carly.
out, let me know because we still have spaces left. I just
And
found out.
and I
So
love your name of your company's Opal Equity. Do you see it? I don't know if you can see it, but that's an opal. That's a big
I
opal.
love it. I
Isn't that
love
fun?
opals.
Yeah, I wear it every day.
I
It's
love
good
it.
energy.
Is it your birthstone?
No, this is
No.
my birthstone. It's emerald. My birthday's in a couple weeks.
Me too. When's your birthday?
May 8th. When's yours?
May 9th.
No. We're a day
Yes.
apart.
We're a day apart. So sometimes it's on Mother's Day for
I
you.
fit almost all the time, like every
Uh,
fourth year or third year or
Every
something.
fourth year. I was born
Mhm.
on Mother's Day in 1982.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. I
Oh, I'm
didn't
gonna,
know that makes so much sense. That
yeah,
makes so much
that's
sense.
why you're so awesome. I'm gonna
That's why you're
message
so
you on
awesome.
your birthday.
I'll message you on yours.
Yeah, we're
May 8th.
almost birthday twins.
Almost. I
Yeah, I'll
love it.
tell my mom. It's her fault. We're not birthday twins.
Yeah, my mom too. We'll go
Yeah,
yell at
your
our
mom too.
moms.
Right? That is so
Yeah.
awesome. We're so close. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, gorgeous. I'm
Okay.
gonna have John stop the recording. But anyway, I
Okay.
love you. Remember, like and
Yes.
subscribe, but live your practice. This is not your practice life.
No.
Go live your life and don't wait till you're 40. But if you're 40 and you still haven't figured out your self-worth thing, figure it out immediately. You're right, it's
Yes.
never too late. But I love that you shared that because when you start realizing that it's all inside and it has nothing to do with the external stuff, that's when the magic in your life starts to happen.
It's
Because
so true.
I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Like, I
I
don't
don't
care.
either. And
Mm-mm.
it's a wonderful place to be.
It's
It's
freeing, right?
wonderful. Do you know how nice it is not worrying if someone's gonna like my makeup or whatever?
Your hair, your makeup, your
Hair, my
outfit.
shirt, what I
Yeah.
say if it's dorky or not, because it
Yeah.
probably is 100% of the time, and I don't care if you think it is. So,
And it's okay.
and it's okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's
Okay.
great
Love you,
here.
gorgeous.
Okay, love you too. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for having me.
You're the best.
You're the best.